This is where I get my downloads from spirit while I'm getting ready. So let me just talk it through about change. I think it's because the energy is we have a huge shift. Pluto is moving into Aquarius, and it begs the questions. Pluto is the planet of transformation. Transformation is a really positive word for change and upheaval, which most people feel. And let's be honest, I don't think people are really good at change. At least I can say that as my expertise as an executive coach. When I watch when change happens, even change to an org structure, reporting lines, jobs, all of that stuff, schedules, you name it. Change in the workplace is like big, dramatic time in a company. And so it happens in our personal lives too. I don't think it's different in our personal lives. Now, if you're at the bottom of a pit and change happens to bring you out, of course we celebrate change. But the Pluto kind of energy change is like transformation, helping you grow, making you uncomfortable. But it's a slow moving process, Pluto. Instead of like ripping off the Band-Aid, it's like the slow burn, the slow learn, which is just really hard. Like if I was going to say that in corporate America, I would be like, make your changes, let's go, so we could move on faster, because it's people really struggle with change. And with Pluto's like, yeah, no. So Pluto is moving into Aquarius. It's been in Capricorn since 2008. So that gives you an idea of like how long Pluto is working in a particular sign and transforming a particular thing in your life. So I think one of the best, not only leadership skills, but life skills is how you navigate change. So how good are you at navigating change? Sometimes we navigate things well professionally, but we don't navigate them personally. When we think about transformations, some of the time it's for our own doing. Like we're working on ourselves, we're actively trying to transform, and that's like super awesome. Other times it's like something's happening to us and we're either resisting or accepting the change. So what can you do? What are the tips? Well, when you're doing the personal transformation and trying to transform yourself, you have a lot more control of the situation. I'm not really worried about you in that sense. Just make sure like we're transforming, toward our aligned purpose, our highest good. And so we just want to make sure that we're doing the right thing. How can you tell if you're on the right path or not? It's either going to feel like you're swimming with the current or swimming against the current. So like if you feel like you're swimming against the current with something that you're trying to do, but you don't have to like be able to talk to your spirit guides to know that like, yeah, you're kind of being blocked from that. And I mean, you can keep going as much as you want, but I don't advise it. It's kind of a waste of time. And as an Aries rising, I hate wasting time and I like being way more efficient. Now, what about if change happens to you? When change happens to you, it's like almost fight, flight, and freeze, where you're like, hold on a second. Do I like this change? What does this mean for me? Like, let me scan this for all the terrible things that are going to come out of this. I would say most people, I don't have a scientific study, but you tell me in the comments, like when change first happens, do you immediately evaluate it for like how this could negatively impact you or positively impact you? I was fortunate to work in companies. Change is constant. And so I became kind of a change expert in that regard. And watching leaders and people navigate through change is pretty painful, actually, especially when they have the mindset of going against their current, resisting the change that's happening to them. My trick is like, okay, there's always opportunity in change. Let's be honest. Are you 100% happy with like everything that's going on in your life right now, professionally and personally? Probably not. So when like there's a transformation or an upheaval, my brain has now been trained, because I wasn't born this way, to be like, ooh, what's the opportunity in this? Even in corporate America, my whole department was being sold off, okay? It was like Hunger Games. That's all I can say. I use it as an opportunity to like pitch and craft my own role. It took me into a different space. It took me into the HR space for the first time, which I never thought about. I didn't go to school for that at all. And that was probably one of the most awesome things. So I think those are the types of changes that happen to us where we can't really see the big picture because it's not something we'd necessarily choose for ourselves, but it's a step in the direction of heading us toward where we want to be. It doesn't mean you have to sit in the change. It may even propel you to a spot where you're like, oh, now I need to make some decisions because this ain't working for me anymore. So it actually lights a fire under you to like make a move. With Pluto moving into Aquarius, we are now on a new trajectory of change and transformation. What you want to do if you want to find out how this is going to affect you is you can look at your, your big three, your rising sign and your sun sign mostly, and just see like what house is this happening in for you. They have tons of videos about Pluto moving into Aquarius, and it'll give you some insight in what might be happening. But again, this is slow moving energy, so you're going to be feeling this. Like I said, Pluto was in Capricorn since 2008. It's gonna dip back in, actually, I think in the summer. And so there's a little bit of revisiting stuff that you've changed and you've transformed, but things are definitely going to be changing for you. For me, I get super excited and I'm like, okay, what is the opportunity here? Why is this happening for me? So my best advice to you is when change happens, don't panic. Don't panic. Take a deep breath. Figure out, how is this going to be affecting you? What are the ways in which, yeah, this kind of sucks, but also what are some things that you haven't been able to do that you might be able to do as a result of the change that's coming? As soon as you can swim with the current, and you're going to have to feel out what that feels like professionally and personally. Now, a breakup can happen. That's change, right? And it can happen to you. And you're like, no, that's terrible. Heal your heart. Feel your feelings. You're allowed to feel your feelings. This is gray hair. It's up to you of how long you want to just stay stagnant and resist the change and go against the current, or if you want to start swimming and heading toward your higher purpose and find out what was the good in that. Because I guarantee you, God is always working for good, and within every change, there is an opportunity in everything. This is what happens. I get ready and I get these downloads, and it's like, Pluto and Aquarius, change is happening. And I'm thinking about changes in the workplace right now, and how as an HR person, helping people through that is going to be a huge, huge theme. So tell me, how good are you or navigating change professionally and personally? What tips do you have for people? Help each other out, because we're all going through this transformation collectively. It's all going to be happening in different areas of our lives, professionally, personally, and we can just be on the lookout and be sure that everyone is going to be affected by Pluto in some way, shape, or form. It actually binds us all together. Thanks for getting ready with me. Have a blessed and abundant day, everyone.